The phylum Chordata is an extremely diverse phylum. The phylum is divided into three subphylums: Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata. The lamprey is part of the subphylum Vertebrata. The phylum Chordata contains all animals that possesses, at some point during their lives, a hollow nerve cord and a notochord, which is a flexible rod between the nerve cord and the digestive tract. The third phylum, Vertebrata, is the most important and is distinguished by a backbone made either of bone or cartilage, containing interlocking vertebrae and a skull enclosing a brain. These two features serve to protect the entire central nervous system and in addition give support and structure to the body. This sets apart the lamprey from other animals because these bones also form part of a larger system of bones, the endoskeletal system, unlike the exoskeleton of other phylums such as the arthropods, which must be shed periodically. This endoskeleton is permanent and can grow with the organism.
Jawless fish are the most primitive vertebrates and are similar to other fish with the exception that they have not evolved any sort of jaw, instead using a circular, sucker-like mouth to latch onto and suck the blood of their prey.
This is our lamprey model. Now we will begin discussing the major organs. Here we have the forebrain, the anterior part of the brain, including the cerebral hemisphere, the thalamus, and the hypothalamus. Next to it we have the eye, each of a pair of glabrous organs in the head through which people and vertebrate animals see, the visible part typically appearing almond-shaped in animals with eyelids. Next to that we have the ear vesicle, a simple yet complex organ occurring in many worms, mollusks, etc. It consists of a small sac containing a fluid and one or more solid concretion or ossities. Next to that, we have the hindbrain, the lower part of the brainstem, comprising of cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. Next to that, we have the spinal cord, the cylindrical bundle of nerve fibers and the associated tissue that is enclosed in the spine and connects nearly all parts of the body to the brain, with which it forms the central nervous system. All the way at the end, we have the myotomes, the dorsal part of each somite in a vertebrate embryo, giving rise to the skeletal masculinity.
Here we have the notochord, which is a skeletal rod supporting the body made out of cartilage. Now we move on to the intestine, the lower part of the alimentary canal from the end of the stomach to the anus being this. And now we go on to the liver and the gallbladder, which is the small sac-shaped organ beneath the liver in which bile is stored after secretion by the liver and before release into the intestine. Here we see the kidney. The kidney, each pair of the organs in the abdominal cavity of mammals, birds, and reptiles, excreting urine. Now we go on to the atrium, which is part of the heart. Each of the two upper cavities of the heart from which blood is passed to the ventricle. This is the ventricle, a hollow part or cavity in an organ in particular, which makes up the heart in general.
Here we have the esophagus, the part of the alimentary canal that connects the throat to the stomach, the gullet. In humans and other vertebrates, it is a muscular tube lined with mucous membrane. Right next to that, we have the gill pouch, any of a series of paired linear pouches in chordae embryos, arising as outgrowths of the walls of the pharynx. In fish and other amphibians, they become the gill slits. Right next to that, we have the endocyle, longitudinal cellated groove on the ventral wall of the pharynx, which produces mucus to gather food particles. And right next to that, we have the pharynx, which is the membrane-lined cavity behind the nose and the mouth, connecting them to the esophagus. Right next to that, number 17 is the velum, a membrane or membranous structure, typically covering another structure or partly obscuring an opening in particular. And then we have the oral papillae, a small nipple-shaped protuberance concerned with taste, touch, or smell.
This is the oral hood, a prolongation of the metapleural fold surrounding the mouth in an amphyxis and bearing the oral cirri. Here is the anterior dorsal fin, the fin used to stabilize the mammal against rolling and to assist in sudden turns. This is the posterior dorsal fin, one or more unpaired fins on the back of fishes and certain marine mammals. This is the tail, the hindmost part of an animal, especially when prolonged beyond the rest of the body. These are the caudal fins, the terminal vertical fin of a fish. This is the cloacal aperture, the common cavity that serves as the opening for the intestinal, genital, and urinary tracts in many vertebrates, including amphibians, reptile, birds, and some fishes. And this
is a trunk, a person or animal's body apart from limbs and
Now we're going to discuss the sea lamprey's reproduction system. The sea lamprey breeds in fresh water. During spawning, the lamprey stops eating, conserving all their energy for reproduction. The male and female align so that the colloquial external lake openings are together. The fertilization is external. Hence, the male secretes his sperm and the female secretes her egg to be fertilized. Between 35,000 and 100,000 eggs are laid. The lampreys work pairs to dig out a nest, where the eggs are deposited. After spawning, the adults die as their intestines deteriorate and their bodies are attacked by fungus. The larvae have no teeth and are blind.
They bear little resemblance to the adult stage, with mouths and fins of different appearance. This stage lasts 3 to 4 years before they finally undergo transformation into adults. After this, they find their way to saltwater.